Check this out. This woman's got this massive, proud, 500-pound figure, but she's been single for 30 years. She tried being all Marilyn Monroe, but damn. Finally, a guy comes running her way. However, he doesn't even lay eyes on her. Julie's temper goes through the roof, and she runs to the firefighters, but they ain't showing no mercy. So, Julie ends up working at the restaurant for her family. She tells her old man that she's gonna find a boyfriend even hotter than Leonardo DiCaprio. But guess what? He's like, just find any guy, that'll do. When Julie's serving coffee to a customer, who'd have thought she'd spot her Leo right there? She falls in love at once. Julie seeks help from a love expert. This man's super famous. Matched all sorts of couples, no matter the status, gender, or race. But when he looks at Julie, he knows she's gonna be his biggest disaster yet. You ain't never seen such a hardcore plastic surgery. They start by using a cutting machine to grind down her cute toenails. Then they rip off Julie's clothes and smoothly spread wax on her lovely back. They gently tear it off. With a face like the 5th emoji in your phone. They drill holes into Julie's body and suck out all the oil inside her. After a few hours, she goes from being a 500-pound chubby girl to a 90-pound beauty. Even a real-life Leo DiCaprio would be charmed. Confidently, Julie joins a blind date event, and her crush guy is right here. The man takes a look around, instantly dismissing those who don't catch his eye. But Julie makes it through to the end, and the man walks up to her with a rose in hand, confessing his feelings. Julie can't wait and says, "I do," right away, and then... On the wedding day, the bride gets a huge pimple on her face. What to do? Should she pop it or leave it to be her snack? Julie desperately squeezes the pimple, trying to get rid of it, but it's stuck like it's welded on. No matter how hard she tries, it won't budge. Finally, Julie pulls out a giant plier. But damn, the recoil is stronger than a rocket launcher. Meanwhile, the groom is anxiously waiting for her to show up for the wedding. Seeing Julie's delay, his ex-girlfriend stirs up trouble, saying Julie doesn't really love him and how she's better. But Julie arrives just in time to witness this. Furious, she decides to call off the wedding. She goes back home, feeling sad and alone. At night, the man keeps playing love songs below her window. Even if the neighbors are throwing crap at him, he stands there unfazed. But even with all that effort, Julie still won't forgive him.
This ain't no monster, it's a 300-pound woman in real life. When she takes a shower, she needs to use a giant shoe brush. Doctors are saying she won't make it past 30 when her boyfriend takes her out, and slamming the car door takes some serious muscle. But when she finally sheds the pounds, her boyfriend dumps her for being too skinny. Amber hails from Oregon, and due to overindulgence, by high school, she was pushing 200 pounds and dealing with depression because she couldn't bring herself outside. At 23, weighing close to 300 pounds, she couldn't stand for more than 30 minutes. Now, the only option left is surgery. Luckily, there's a famous doctor in Houston, so they're getting ready to hop on a plane. The wheelchair breaks as soon as she sits in it, so her dad has to borrow a pushcart. Curious bystanders start snapping pics, and Amber's self-esteem shatters. The airplane aisle looks ridiculously narrow in front of her, and she has to buy 2 seats, but getting into them is a whole challenge. The next day, the whole crew finally makes it to Houston. The doctor starts things off by weighing Amber. Check out this woman, a whopping 657.6 pounds. If she doesn't lose weight soon, she won't live much longer. The doctor, seeing Amber's hefty chunks, immediately diagnoses it as fat lymphedema. However, surgery isn't an immediate option. Amber has to shed some pounds first. To be closer to the doctor, the whole family plans to move to Houston. With a 3-day journey and immense psychological pressure, Amber throws up several times. At their new home, Amber gradually starts a new life. Each meal is strictly portioned, and she learns to cook for herself. She goes for a walk every day, bearing the weight of 650 pounds. Even just walking is an exercise. 3 months fly by, and Amber has shed 17 pounds. Though not a huge amount, it shows the doctor her determination. He plans to start the surgery as soon as possible. Hearing this, anxiety creeps into Amber's heart. If it fails, all the hard work could go to waste, and she might even die. The pressure in her mind is heavier than a 650-pound body, but she has no other choice. This is one heck of a surgery. Dealing with a patient weighing 650 pounds, the doc decides to go for a stomach shrinking surgery, downsizing it from football to baseball size. Luckily, the surgery goes super smoothly, and 2 days later, Amber's up and about. She's even rocking socks, looking way more alive. 7 months later, Amber has shed a whopping 93 pounds. The leg swelling is almost gone, and she smoothly slides into the driver's seat, something she never thought possible before. Come the 9th month, Amber's down a total of 147 pounds. She gathers the courage to hit a clothing store, marking her first time buying clothes in years. Not only has she gone from 6X size to 2X, but her mindset has undergone a major transformation. But that's not the end of it. Amber stays committed to hitting the gym. One day at the zoo, a sea lion plants a smooch on her, like a reward for her relentless effort. Now, Amber frequently shares her pics on social media. However, her boyfriend breaks up with her. Turns out, he has a strong fetish for the fuller figure, but Amber has kicked off a brand new chapter in life.
This guy turns into a porcupine in order to lose weight. Then he starts weight loss exercise and goes boxing, even hires an expensive personal trainer. But here's the kicker, he's a whopping 800 pounds. Others effortlessly bounce on trampolines while he's squashing it to the ground. He tries lifting weights, ends up breaking the equipment. And that's not even the worst of it. He decides to take his crush out to a bar, only to have the rapper on stage make jokes about his obesity, embarrassing them both. All he can do is endure it silently. After the disastrous day, he rushes back to his lab, grabs his experimental weight loss potion and chucks it down. Few crazy convulsions and Jack collapses. Next morning, he wakes up, stretches out a slim little hand, looks in the mirror, and wow, his massive tits are gone and he can see his feet. Off he goes to the clothing store, picking up all these sexy outfits. Then he switches up his identity, strikes up a conversation with his crush. But because the potion's still experimental, it only lasts a few hours. Jack steps on the potion. His greasy double chin falls off. His mom faints right away. Eventually, Jack wins back control over his body. He explains that the potion was supposed to help people lose weight, but he realizes he's been chasing after body's image all along. His excessive desire got him lost, and that happiness in life isn't about being skinny or fat, but about accepting oneself. And after speaking, he leaves alone. Surprisingly, his crush follows out and says she likes Jack for his sincerity. The whole story told us one thing: you don't have to slim down to be loved by someone. Got it?
The boy's first time peeing turned the whole toilet red. At the hospital, they found out he's intersex. His parents were devastated and signed a life or death agreement because the doctor said he needed to be a girl to survive. When he woke up, he had become a girl, but she couldn't accept it and got angry, smashing things at home. Eventually, he compromised, wearing girls' clothes and growing long hair. On her 18th birthday, her mom got her a cute teddy bear, but she didn't like it, so she burned it. To make her son accept the reality, her mom changed her room to pink and even changed her name to Nicki Minaj. Soon, she went to a new school. During class, she was daydreaming and didn't notice her period, so she rushed to the restroom. She was still thankful because her classmate helped her with the chair, and even taught her how to choose pads. Eventually, they became BFF, doing nails and hairstyling together. But good times didn't last long. Her classmate found a boy who looked exactly like her on her computer. She didn't hide it and told her classmate the truth. She begged for secrecy, and her classmate agreed. However, the next day, all her classmates gave her strange looks.
This country girl can't read, but she did well in a job interview to be a secretary. The boss hired her because she was really good at typing. Just a minute later, the boss checked her work, and it had 360 words with no mistakes. It was amazing because she used only 2 fingers to type. She was so good that the boss wanted to show off her talent. So, the boss decided to send her to a typing contest in town, where she could win $10,000. The girl brought her talent to the contest and found that she had to compete against 50 other people. It was quite tense for a rural girl. At the beginning of the contest, everyone typed in an orderly fashion, but the girl had trouble. Her fingers were stiff and shaking, and she kept looking around. As a result, she made 2 mistakes and lost the contest. The boss was very mad and made her get out of the car.